So in my quest to figure out what the heck happened with Battlefield 2042, why did it release in the state that it did? Why did it release with the design decisions that they chose? You know, how did we get from the former glory of the Battlefield franchise to Battlefield 2042? And I came across a really interesting patent that I wanted to share with you guys. I just distinctly remember playing the beta, and that first week of release, I took off work and I was playing a bunch of the game. I wanted to make content about it, and I just kept asking myself, who tested this? What, like, how did this make it past QA? How did this make it into the game? Did they not test this game? We've asked that so many times, even with, you guys remember the update that broke the mouse input where you couldn't even look left or right, and I'm always like, who tested this game? Well, this patent gives us an idea as what might have actually happened. Now, again, guys, this is potential, this is alleged, let's be good journalists around here, but it really adds up with a lot of the wording that they talk about exclusively using bots to test features in online first-person shooter games. Again, this was released just, I mean, not necessarily released, but they put the patent forward. They submitted the patent just a month or so after 2042 release. So if you guys want to put that all together, it kind of makes sense. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Again, I can't prove it, but this does add up in my opinion. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Let's go ahead and get into it. So the name of the patent is Auto Players for Filling and Testing Online Games. This enables one or more automated players that can be used to populate and or fill a multiplayer online game. The auto players may emulate a human player in playing the online game. So it talks about filling empty lobbies, and we know that's what the AI bots do in Battlefield 2042, a problem that in my opinion would be solved with, that's right, a server browser. I feel like a server browser would fix this issue, but anyway, I digress. It talks a lot about the user experience can be diminished if the lobby empties out. These players are put in, these auto players, you guys know how it works, to make the game full so you can finish it out. So that makes sense, but it's the second part that blew my mind. They go on to say, auto players can also be used to test an online game, such as with a relatively large number of players, that sounds familiar, prior to development for players to play. New features that have been added to an online game can also be tested using auto players. So basically, they're talking about features can be tested using bots instead of QA testers and people. Sounds all right on the surface, but it just seems like there's some stuff that could fall through the cracks, maybe, potentially. So that goes on to say, as multiplayer online games have become more complex over time, testing these online games during and after the development stage has become increasingly challenging. And this goes right along with what Tom Henderson was saying about working from home being a challenge. Not everyone had every console. There's 4 different console systems and a PC to test everything on it. And that could, I mean, I could see where that could definitely be an issue. So they go on to say, for example, an auto player may be spawned in an online game to use and thereby test a new feature that a game developer or software developer may have recently developed and or implemented. In this way, the game developer, by using the auto players, can get quick and or automated feedback on features that he or she has developed. Additionally, with the use of auto players, online games may be tested with a relatively high number of players, which may otherwise be cost prohibitive and or technically prohibitive using human testers. So again, they're talking about new features added to the game that were tested by bots, or that would be tested by AI auto players, as they call them. They go on to talk about how kind of complicated they are and hopefully closer to humans that they are. They said additionally, the auto player may generate controller inputs that may be made to and or via a game controller, joystick, or mouse. So the auto players actually, you know, use input device inputs into the game engine, if that makes sense. And then finally, they said this is to provide technological improvements in the field of testing and QA assurance of online gaming. For example, the methods and systems as disclosed herein enables the testing of features of online games and or tested using a plurality. So basically that's talking about why they did it, and it makes sense, right? Like if you have a giant game, you can't just put in something and then get a bunch of bots you can't just put something in and then get 128 people to jump on and test it out. So this makes sense from that standpoint. However, and I say if the game was tested by AI bots only, by auto players, that would make a lot of sense to me, because there's things in the game that don't feel good. And I don't know how an auto player would tell you that. I don't know how the auto player would say, hey, the mouse input is a little bit bugged, it doesn't feel right. hey, the aim assist isn't working, like it doesn't feel good. A lot of the recoil mechanics don't feel right. The attachments don't feel like they do anything. The attachments feel really repetitive. A lot of those little nuances and things that we really don't enjoy about the game, an AI bot is not going to tell you. I don't enjoy playing against all specialists that look exactly the same. I don't enjoy maps that aren't finished out with textures and look war-torn and things like that. Bots aren't going to tell you that. So I definitely see the merit in this, where it came from, how it can make game development more efficient, and that's what we need, that's what we're after. But at the same time, I hope this wasn't used in the place of human testers, because these games need to be tested. They need to be tested early and given feedback to give us what we want. I don't think the recipe for Battlefield is that complicated. We've been wanting a certain kind of game for a really long time. Almost everyone is on the same page. But yeah, I just wanted to show that to you guys. There is a theory floating around now that it could have been tested and QA tested by auto players, and that would explain a lot. To be honest. So I wanted to put that out, see what you guys thought. Let me know in the comments down below. If you enjoy videos like this, first person shooter games, news, reactions, consider subscribing for more mediocre content. I love you guys. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you later.